New England Patriots have named their quarterback. It's the Camp Show on Rogue Media Sports Network. Patriots head coach Jerod Mayo talked to the media early this morning, and he said, fellas, we have got our guy. Catch that fever. The Patriots have named Jacoby Brissett their starting quarterback for Week 1 against the Bengals. Bang! Here we go. Patriots football, baby. If that doesn't get you jazzed up, I don't know what will. It was the predictable letdown. If that isn't an oxymoron, it was the predictable letdown of the Patriots season as we head into it, I guess, is that when you come and think about it for more than a couple of seconds, it was obvious the way this franchise was going to go in picking Jacoby Brissett. It's a rare situation in football, and it's not a good kind of rare. It's not a good situation to be in. The head coach has told you that the backup is better than the starter. He has straight up told you that. This week, he said Drake Maye has outplayed Jacoby Brissett, and in the same week, he named Jacoby Brissett the starter. That is the sign of an organizational failure. That's what this announcement is. It is the sign that this organization has failed utterly and completely the last 5 years. And it's not the Mac Jones thing. They failed the Mac Jones thing. But the fact that Drake Maye is not the starter for Week 1 has nothing to do with Drake Maye. It doesn't even have a lot to do with who the offensive coordinator is. And somewhat not even what to do with who the head coach is. It's what has happened here the last few years because there is not a team around Drake Maye to put him out there. There isn't a team out there. There isn't a team on the field for the Patriots that's going to make Drake Maye look good. There's not a team out there for the Patriots that's going to make Drake Maye successful this year. And there's not a team out there for the Patriots to make Drake Maye stay healthy this year. To be quite honest, it's not safe for him to go out there. I know football is a tackle sport. It's contact. You're going to get hurt. I get it. But when you've just invested that much into a kid, and this offensive line is the one that's out there, I don't know that you could put him out there Week 1. Jacoby Brissett gets hurt, who cares? Now you got the kid. Drake Maye gets hurt, where do you go from there? How does that stunt his growth? What does that do to not only his development, but his health in order to take the next step next year? It does a lot of things. And this decision made today is one that is years in the making. And that's what is so disappointing for Patriots fans. Because they haven't got the quarterback situation right. That's true. But they have not set their quarterbacks up to succeed. They thought they had it in 2021. And they probably did. You know, Belichick and McDaniels and some good guys in the draft and some good free agent signings like Matthew Judon, like Devon Godshaw. And lo and behold, you make the playoffs. Kendrick Bourne was a good signing for them too. You made the playoffs that year. Mac looks good, goes to the Pro Bowl. Then after that, 2 more seasons with Mac. You have 2 more offensive coordinators for him. 1 year you have the defensive coordinator as the OC and the special teams coordinator as his quarterback's coach. The hell is that? And that's not even hindsight. We were all saying that at the time. Couldn't develop any talent, couldn't draft any offensive talent whatsoever that could play at this level. First round pick N'Keal Harry in 2019. Out of the league a couple years later. Teams desperately trying to convert him to tight end. I mean, the list goes on and on with some of these guys. You want to talk about a failure of building a team that a rookie quarterback can come into? How about 2022? They trade up in the second round for Tyquan Thornton. Not only do the receivers that are picked behind him have better years, Tyquan goes on the IR both years he's been with the Patriots, but a couple of spots behind him, 7 spots behind Tyquan Thornton, is Luke Gadecki, the tackle for the Bucs, who is known as one of the most improved players in the league the last year. He's getting legit Pro Bowl, All-Pro buzz this year as a tackle. Oh, you don't think you could have used one of those? You don't have an NFL tackle right now at either position. You're playing a pretty decent guard at tackle, and you're playing a reject at the other tackle. Trying to get something through the waiver wire a week before the season starts. That's why Jacoby Brissett's your quarterback. And that is the mark of the failure of this franchise the last few years. Built a good defense. Well, re-signed some of your veteran guys this year. Who cares? Who cares about any positive spin you could take for this team in the offseason when they have just admitted to you we cannot play our best player at the most important position on the field because we don't have enough of a team around him? That's embarrassing, man. That is embarrassing. That is a low in the post-Brady era. Not any of the blowout losses, not any of the ridiculous finishes. I'm thinking about that game in Vegas in 2022. None of that. Not even the draft bus in a vacuum. It's this situation right now. The fact that you probably did draft the right guy. We've seen the flashes of it. But the fact that you don't have enough around him to even put him out there, that's the failure. That's the embarrassment that comes with this announcement today. Surprising? No. I think a lot of us knew it was going to be Jacoby Brissett. But how many teams around the National Football League this year are saying, yeah, our backup's actually better than our starter? No, seriously, he is. He's outplayed him, but this guy's our starter. That's not how this works. It shouldn't be how this works. And of course there's going to be, I think there are benefits to this. Again, Drake Maye not getting, beaten to hell out there every time he takes the field because of this offensive line, and allow this line to gel, see if you've got some NFL receivers out there, taking a gamble with that, seeing if there's an offense that clicks before you put Drake Maye out there. I don't mind that. In a vacuum, that is what it is. This is not going to be fixed tomorrow or probably within a month, but you had years to prepare for this. And I think this situation should open your eyes, Patriots fans, if you still think, Mac's a total bust, totally worthless. Mac set this franchise back. I'm not saying Mac was great. I'm not saying he didn't get a raw deal. But this is an institutional failure. This is a failure across the board the last 5 years. Belichick, Wolf, Mayo, Kraft, all of these guys have blame. All of them. The players, there's blame there too. But they have brought in a young star, they feel, in Drake Maye, into an environment that is uninhabitable for him. That's a fucking failure. A failure. And Jerod Mayo goes to the podium today in a press conference that's a minute and a half, trying to channel some Belichick there. And he almost, steps on himself again. We have decided, or I have decided, that Jacoby Brissett will be our starting quarterback. Because once again, he wants people to believe that he is the head coach here, that he's making the calls. I don't know that there's any evidence of that yet. He said, my offensive coordinator is going to make that decision. And, we as an organization know, but we're not going to tell the guys till tomorrow. AKA, I got to go ask permission from Elliott Wolf and Robert Kraft, Jonathan Kraft, whoever else I need permission from as the head coach to name who the starting quarterback is going to be. We're not fooled by that. And then, oh man, I know he's got to give a positive spin to this. He is the head coach, but he goes with Jacoby Brissett because, quote, Jacoby gives us the best chance to win right now. Bullshit. Bullshit alert. Jacoby Brissett is a guy that you can trot out there until you figure your shit out. He is not, I repeat, not the best chance for you to win right now. In fact, you admitted as much this week. Who do you think we are? How stupid do you think we are? Call it like it is. We're putting Jacoby out there because we don't think this is a team that is ready for Drake Maye to succeed with it. That's what it is. Jacoby does not give us the best chance to win right now. Bullshit, man. Grow up. You already told us that Drake Maye is the better quarterback. How stupid do you think we are? Jesus, man. It's just frustrating. We all knew this dynasty was not going to last forever, but the complete institutional failure of this right now has to remind people of the pre-Parcells era, where they just couldn't figure their shit out in any way. Probably ruined half of Jim Plunkett's career. Probably why Plunkett wasn't in the Hall of Fame. Because you trotted him out there in a team that didn't know their ass from their armpit, and he got killed out there. That's what would happen with Drake Maye if you put him out there right now. And it's too bad because he does give you a better chance to win because he's a better quarterback right now than Jacoby Brissett. And you want to argue, the vanilla offenses that you see in preseason and, it's going to be much different in the regular season. Of course it is. Of course it is. That's all part of the benefits of Drake Maye being on the bench and learning from this thing. But Mac Jones was ready. He was ready. They went to the playoffs his first year, went to the Pro Bowl. And he outplayed the incumbent, which is exactly what Drake Maye has done. But they have decided this is not 2021. They don't have the team to put Drake Maye out there. And that is sad. That is a sad, sad, sad state of affairs for the once proud New England Patriots. Best chance for us to win. Give me a fucking break, dude. It's insulting. It's insulting to tell us that. The fans, the media that are there every day, that's insulting. This is as much of a mess as it has been in Foxborough for 30 years. And it's not just the product on the field. It's who is in charge here. Can these guys even coach at the positions that they are meant to be coaching right now? Is Alex Van Pelt a full-time OC? Is Jerod Mayo a head coach? Is DeMarcus Covington a defensive coordinator? Is this just a case of, we like Jerod as ownership, and he can just bring his buddies in here. Bring in Dante Hightower. Bring in Tyquan Underwood. They haven't done anything, but who cares? He's got no connections in this league because he's only coached under the guy we just fucking fired. He is only coached or played under Belichick, and we don't think Belichick's good enough for this team. So why don't we promote one of his cronies here? Fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. And it's not the end of the world that Jacoby Brissett is starting week 1, but it is a microcosm of why this organization is a fucking joke right now. And it's going to continue for a little bit until there is a team, a somewhat capable team around Drake Maye. Because if he is the star that we are hoping he will be, he will elevate the team. And I'm telling you, there's plenty of bright spots about Drake Maye, even though it was preseason, even though it was vanilla. The strides are real. And if Jacoby Brissett got injured in the first half of week 1, Drake Maye could go out there and give you something. I guarantee it. And there's going to be this talk of, have they lost the locker room? Because everyone in the locker room knows Drake Maye is the guy and Drake Maye is the future. I think you got to wonder that. I really do. This is a team, a locker room full of professionals who are discouraged anyway. They know they're not going to win. They know the organization knows they're not going to win. But there are some guys who are under contract, and they're saying, I want to be a part of building this. We're not going to win this year, but I'm still on the team 2 years from now. And we think Drake's the guy. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. Our careers are on the line here. So yeah, I could forgive them if they got pissed off about this. Because as fans, it's just the ultimate middle finger. It is. It's saying we gaslit you for years into saying, no, we've got this, when really we didn't. We were shitting down our own legs like the franchises we used to laugh at. We're just like them now. We are pulling a Jets right now. And we don't have a team around this kid that could go out there. I mean, they are literally saying we are keeping Drake Maye on the bench because we don't want him to become Sam Darnold. The Jets couldn't protect him. They couldn't get him any weapons. And what was a once promising career went right down the drain. That's what you are now. You're the 2017, 2018 New York Jets. Have fun. I won't. Mike Felger made some dumb comments about Jeremy Swayman. He made some good points, but a couple pretty dumb ones. That's coming up next on The Cam Show, powered by Rogue Media Sports Network. Cam Show, powered by Rogue Media Sports Network. Jeremy Swayman reportedly wants $10 million from the Bruins. We've been over that, but what we haven't been over is, do the Bruins need Jeremy Swayman? Mike Felger says no. I happen to disagree. Now, Felger, in this rant yesterday about how he would have traded Swayman already, makes some fine points in there. He doesn't think Swayman's worth $10 million a year. I don't either. Quite frankly, I don't. I agree with Matt Barry, who we had on the show from Bruins Benders podcast. I don't believe he's worth $10 million a year. Then again, I think what they're playing is the future of this thing. When the cap goes up by about $20 million, that contract ain't going to look so bad. He'll go from the second or third highest paid goalie in the league to the sixth highest paid goalie in the league in 3 years. And that's about the time your window's probably back anyway, 2 years from now. So it's not going to matter much. But Felger, of course, goes probably too far with it. He's not only saying that Swayman is not worth it, but he brings up the point of the Bruins having great goaltending for 20 years now, right? And he says, I wish they would trust that more. Ditch Swayman and just go to whoever the next guy is. That always works. Raycroft to Thomas to Rask to Olmark to Swayman. Who cares? Just get rid of them. You've got whatever the secret sauce is. Just go to the next guy. Well, Felger, you know why that has worked for so long, you dolt? Because they had that next guy. They let Raycroft go because they believed in Tim Thomas. They let Tim Thomas walk because they had Tuukka Rask. They basically pushed Tuukka Rask into retirement because they had Linus Olmark. They traded Olmark because they have Jeremy Swayman. You idiot. You just let him go, because they got a goalie coach. And they do. They have a great goalie coach. But you don't just say, yeah, Swayman can go. We've got Brandon Bussey and Jonas Korpisalo, who's one of the worst goalies in the league last year. Oh, but they'll figure it out. No, they fucking won't. They have the guy. They have the guy they want. If you want to say $10 million is too much, that's one thing, and I will agree. But to just say, no, who needs him? Just go get the next one. That's not how this works. Not at all, actually. He brings up a good point, too, in that some people get too bogged down into the goaltender position. And I think he says it quite rightly that it's the best team that wins. You look at Vegas with Aiden Hill. Colorado was Georgiev, he was the guy. They didn't have great goalies. I go back to Chicago with Corey Crawford. Corey Crawford was a fine goalie. Wasn't great. So it at the end of the day comes down to that. But there are teams that can be backpacked there. Like Florida was one of the best teams in the East. They didn't show it in the regular season. Bobrovsky went nuclear for a couple of rounds, got them into the final, and they prevailed in the end, even though he had some tough games in the final, but he got them there. And you look at the other team, Edmonton. Edmonton's been a top team for the last few years. They got there because Stuart Skinner got really hot. They have the best player on the planet, and sometimes sometimes during the season, the second best player on the planet, Draisaitl, and that really helps. But Stu Skinner got hot and got them there. Like, you do need to have a little bit of both, especially, by the way, Felger, if you look at the Bruins. If you look at their 3 trips to the Stanley Cup final in the last 15 years, goaltending has got you there. Rask got really hot in 2019. He was money in that second and third rounds, shutouts in the decisive games, in the clinching games in the second and third rounds. Rask in 2013 was unbelievable. He gave up 2 goals in 4 games against Pittsburgh in the Eastern Conference Final. And Tim Thomas has one of the best goaltending performances in the history of the postseason. Sometimes you need that. So no, it's not all about the goalie. But if you look at Bruins' recent history, that's a huge part of it. They could go next man up because they had that next man, which is what they did this year. They traded Ullmark because they had that next man, and now they're worried about getting him. I doubt that there's a team that could go get him as an RFA with what they would need to give up in terms of the picks. I don't know that they'll be high quality, but they give up picks and $10 million AAV. I doubt it. I think there are some teams out there that are willing to overpay a bit, but I think 10 is overpaying the overpay, if we're being honest. But yeah, you do need a good goalie. You can't win shit with Brandon Bussey and Jonas Korpisalo. So yeah, it's not the end all be all, but you need something. You need something better than what you've got behind Jeremy Swayman right now. And I think Swayman's going to play this year for the Bruins. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But $10 million, I think that's a lot. And to be quite honest with you, I'm not even 100% sold that was the number. To be quite honest. And I think it's funny that Felger runs with it after telling us how stupid we are as fans when we just believe all the reports we see. Because you know who it would really behoove to have the $10 million number out there? The Boston Bruins. Because the Bruins fans are saying, how the hell is this not done yet? What's going on here? How do you not sign this guy? You traded the other guy. Why aren't you signing this guy? You know what would be really nice for the Bruins to do? To say to Rich Keefe, hey, I don't know. He's asking for $10 million. Who could agree to that? And then all the fans are saying, yeah, who would pay a goalie $10 million? What the hell is this Swayman guy thinking? So who's the sucker here, Felger? You're just going to buy that's what Swayman's throwing out there? Cut the shit. Oh, it's nauseating to hear Swayman talk. Like, what? What? I mean, he's not Deion Sanders. He's not Keyshawn Johnson. Like, what are you talking about? The guy's a hockey player. It's nauseating to hear him talk. All he said was he took business classes and that he hated the arbitration last year. Telling him to grow up. You grow up. It's stupid. It's all stupid. Fuck. Let's just focus on actually getting him signed. And if you want to find a douche in this situation, it might not be Jeremy Swayman nor the Boston Bruins, but probably Jeremy Swayman's agent. It was also William Nylander's agent, the longest holdout in NHL salary cap history. Yeah, that guy. He's the one trying to get this contract for Jeremy Swayman. And I don't think $10 million is a great move. I really don't. Felger goes on to say, he's not as good as Vasilevsky. And over a career, that's true. Contract negotiations don't go over a career mostly. Jeremy Swayman was better than Andrei Vasilevsky this year. He was a better goalie, and he's younger. And the salary cap's going up. So that argument's probably pretty moot. Yeah, Vasilevsky has cups, of course. He's better career than Jeremy Swayman, no doubt. But we're not talking about career. We're talking about now. And I do love this. Felger goes on to say that he would love to have just kept Ullmark instead. Keep him on a $4 or $5 million contract, one more year, and trade Swayman. Because, I don't trust Ullmark in the playoffs, but how can we trust this guy in the playoffs? What has he ever done? Jeremy Swayman has not won a Stanley Cup. But what has he done in the playoffs? He just saved your ass in the playoffs. He just carried you past the first round and almost into the third round. He took you to 6 games against a team that was way better than you. Don't tell me he didn't do anything. He had the highest saves above expectation in the whole playoffs, and he was out in the second round. Oh, so I'd rather keep the guy who I know can't do anything in the playoffs, because what has this guy done in the playoffs? I don't know, played better than Ullmark? Does that work for you? Because remember when Ullmark pissed down his leg in the first round against Florida last year? Who did you go to in Game 7? This guy. This guy who do we care in the playoffs? What's he done? Gives you a lot more confidence in your team than fucking Ullmark does. That's what he does. And wins more playoff series than Ullmark. He already has that. He already has won more playoff series than Linus Ullmark. So no, he has not won the cup. But how many cup goalies are out there, Mike? You don't just pick up a cup-winning goalie off the street. He was an all-star last year. He was an all-star. He was a very big part of the Jennings Trophy when Ullmark won the Vezina. He has won more playoff series than Ullmark, and he's 25 years old. That's why he wants big money. That's why you don't just trade him. I would have traded him yesterday. Why? And now he's legitimately saying they need to trade him now, even though they've already traded Ullmark. The Ullmark thing, that's on the Bruins. To me, that's not good business. They didn't get a good return for him. I said that from the beginning. They didn't get a good return for him, and they traded him too early because they wanted that draft pick. And now Swayman's had them over a barrel the whole summer. Because you know why? Don Sweeney and the Bruins, they did not think Swayman was going to ask for $10 million. They had no thoughts of that whatsoever. They probably didn't even think Swayman would ask for $9 million. And that's shitty research. You know who his agent is. You went to arbitration with him last year. He's talked about how much he hated that. Why wouldn't you expect him to ask for top dollar? I'm sorry. How do you not expect that? That's why you trade Ullmark after free agency starts. And you get a pick for next year. Whoop-de-doo. You drafted a project anyway. You drafted a kid who's not going to be in the NHL for 3 or 4 years anyway. It's bad business. Call it what it is. It's bad business. You didn't get any cap relief because you brought in Korpisalo, who you now might need. You brought in a bottom 6 guy, and you got a draft pick in the 20s for a project that's going to be there in 4 years. Instead of waiting, getting the contract you wanted for Swayman, or getting a good haul for Swayman. I don't know. It's bad business. It's just bad business by the Bruins. Or let Swayman walk as an RFA. Let someone sign the offer sheet. Okay, let him walk. Keep Ullmark. Extend Ullmark. Now you got some space. No, didn't do that. Didn't do that. Took a minimal cap hit to get rid of him for nothing. At least nothing you'll see tangibly on the ice for 3 or 4 years. Letourneau's the only thing that's a real return in that deal. And now your starting goalie has you over a barrel and is asking for $10 million a year. And by the way, you have the cap space to do it. Barely. You'll have a couple bucks left in the bank account, but you have the cap space to do it. And despite what Bruins fans are saying, they do need another forward. They need some help. It's all sunshine and rainbows when we think, oh, no, Fabian Lysell, Georgi Mekulov, they'll come in. This time it'll be for real. This time they'll really nail it. They're like 22 and 24. They're not 19. The answer isn't just coming up from Providence right now. It's not. The Bruins are reworking that farm system. So Felger doesn't think the Bruins need Swayman. I think they do. I think they do need Swayman. The alternative even with Bob Asenza, is at the very best NHL average with Bussy and Korpisalo. Bussy's not played, and Korpisalo was way below league average. So if that's the way you want to go with it, Felger, next man up, good luck. It'll give you a whole season to bitch about how bad the Bruins are, which is what you really want. But yeah, the Bruins do need Swayman. They don't need to be giving him $10 million a year. We can agree on that. But they sure as shit need someone like Jeremy Swayman to be backstopping them. It was their only hope last year, and they've gotten marginally better. You need a top-end goalie. That's what this team is predicated on. They have one of the best D-cores in the NHL. You need the goaltender to go with it because they don't have the room. I get the point. You want to build the best team and have a pretty good goalie in there. I get that, and I'm here for that. The Bruins don't have that wiggle room right now. The alternative to signing Jeremy Swayman is having two unproven / bad goalies in there with the same holes on your roster that you had a few months ago. You still don't have a full allotment of NHL forwards. You're thinking about putting one of these kids on the second line. And then you won't even have till next year to go and fill those holes. So, if you want to punt the season, go right ahead. I think this team is still going to be competitive. And even if they re-sign Swayman and have that salary cap go up, that's a team that could be a real contender in 2 years. A real contender. But Felger would have traded him yesterday. We got more Cam Show coming up after this. Cam Show, Rogue Media Sports Network, my quantum friend Mike.
Hello.
I present this segment as in Mike and I bitch about a lot of things before I get on the camera.
Yeah. This is
you take it all in stride, really.
This is like old man yells at clouds kind of thing. Yeah, that's what this is. Yeah.
And we're both old. So
yeah, I think I got you on that one.
Maybe. I'm not willing to concede.
A couple years, yeah.
I mean, you can attest to this. I can complain about anything.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, truly.
You're very good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's got to the point where if I complain about one or two things within the operation, that means I really like it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so I do try to cut down.
I would not say that your griping is – it doesn't, like, ostracize you from groups or anything. Like,
sure.
Like
it usually unites me.
Well, I don't take it to heart, you know?
Yeah.
If you were really pissed about something, I think I would know.
Yes. And that's what I always say.
Yeah. Just general pissed offness, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll join you with that.
So speaking of generally pissed off, you know what generally pissed me off yesterday?
What's that?
So I've been in Texas almost 10 years now. And this is I say this because it's not something we have in the Northeast.
Sure.
But the first couple hundred times I went to a fast food burger place here.
Couple hundred?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been thousands.
First couple hundred. Yeah, sure.
So be it Whataburger, In-N-Out, Jake's.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? Burger,
the Jake's,
fast food.
The fast food Jake's or the Jake's downtown here? We got two Jake's.
Fast food Jake's. Yeah, both have good
Chinatown,
burgers.
Jake.
That's good. So the first few hundred times I went, I would get just cheese on the burger. So I say, can I get a burger with just cheese
So this is just bread, cheese, meat.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Right.
Usually two of each.
Okay. 2 meats, 2 cheeses, 2 breads?
And definitely 2 pieces of bread.
Oh, I thought you meant like see,
Double
you have
buns?
to you have to specify because if you're saying 2 buns, then it's physically 2 buns.
Just
okay.
2.
Have you ever eaten a burger with 2 tops?
No.
Like instead of a bottom?
I've had 2 bottoms.
2 bottoms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clip
Great.
that, Zach. I've had 2 bottoms.
That's definitely
Anyway, so I would order every time like that.
Yeah.
I just want a burger with just cheese on it. And
Sure.
so they'd say, okay, plain and dry.
Yeah. We had some kids that were like that. A couple of our kids were the same way.
Yeah. Well, I first heard that and I thought, well, not completely plain. I would like cheese on it.
Yeah.
But everyone, it just became universally plain and dry. And when I would see it like on the screen in the drive-thru, it would say plain and dry. I get it from the Whataburger, the plain and the dry.
Yeah.
But it would have just cheese on it. So yesterday I ordered from Whataburger on Favor, delivery service. And I
not a big fan.
I said, because they go up there and order.
Yeah.
And so I said, I took all the toppings off, and the people at Whataburger,
no.
not the brightest knives in the chandelier.
Sure.
And so I say, plain and dry burger, please.
What was this place you grew up where you had knives in your chandeliers?
Wouldn't you like to know?
All right, so they ordered. Yeah,
so they ordered it, and I get it, and it is what I had originally thought in 2014 or so of what I would get if I ordered a plain and dry burger.
Meat and bread.
And that is a burger with no cheese.
Yeah, yeah.
A double burger with no cheese.
Yeah. That's a lot of burger and a lot of bread.
And I was like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat that.
No.
I really don't want to eat that.
That's one step away from just going home and having a ham sandwich.
Like, yeah, man. Like, what does that do for me?
You're not very far away from that. Yeah.
What does that do for me?
Yeah.
Like, so I'll do a little sidetrack here. I worked at a Domino's in high school.
Okay.
And there would be certain orders
Domino's
that were
pizza?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That were suspicious.
Sure.
To where we would have to, like, they put it in online and we'd call them to make sure this was their order.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you got 2 pizzas without sauce.
Oh, that happens a lot.
You got, whatever, 10 pizzas or something.
Yeah.
We just got to confirm this isn't a prank.
Sure.
I feel like they should have double checked with me. Are you sure you're wanting a double burger with just meat, like meat and bread? You could have I have those things at my house.
I think. Okay, so
By the way, to finish this off, I had to put Kraft Singles in it and put it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and it ruined the burger.
That is a homemade burger, is what that is.
$20 for this.
Yeah, you paid $20 for meat and bread.
The fries were barely warm.
Loaf
of
bread and a pack of that finely shaved ham that you have 20 sandwiches for like $3.
Incredible experience last night. That was high.
I think that Whataburger specifically, I believe, does not put cheese on any of their burgers unless asked.
Really?
I
know
believe
Burger King
so.
does that,
yeah,
which is wild to me.
I think Burger King does that as well. McDonald's, I think they just slop it together. No.
McDonald's
I don't
chicken
even think of
nuggets.
those as burgers. Honestly, they're not hamburgers to me.
No.
They're like just sandwich stuffing, whatever.
Sandwich.
It's meat sandwich. Barely
Dry
meat sandwich. Yeah, I don't even.
Which
think
is,
about that.
that's what I had last night. Oh, I was so frustrated. And by the way, the Kraft Singles were expired.
Oh, I don't.
But I was like, you know what? First off, these things are made of rubber and plastic anyway.
Expiration dates are put there by Big Cheese,
yes,
just to keep you buying cheese.
And like cheese and bread, it's pretty obvious when there's an expiration.
Sure,
date. We can see it.
Yeah. Well, cheese.
It's gross.
Even when cheese molds, now not singles, but like if you've got a chunk of cheese and it's mold, I just cut it off and eat the middle.
It's like a banana.
Yeah, whatever.
Like a brown spot in a banana.
I mean, it's just it's nature taking its course, Maybe I
By the way,
won't get syphilis or whatever because all the penicillin.
3 minutes from this Whataburger.
Yeah.
Which you're thinking.
How long did it take?
You're thinking, why didn't you just drive and get it? You fucking imbecile.
I understand that.
Well, I was under the influence.
I got you.
So that was me being safe.
Well, then that's you. Yeah.
That was me being safe. Although it's literally like across a parking lot, basically.
Yeah, but that's all right. Yeah.
A private drive.
I get it.
So I didn't do it. And so, it takes a half hour.
Yeah.
Because the person going to pick it up lives 15 minutes.
Yeah, they have to drive from Temple here to Waco. Yeah,
correct.
Pick up the burger.
Correct. Drive a half hour to get it. Yeah. And somehow it's like barely warm as I get it.
Yeah.
Barely warm. I'm like, how does this happen? I'm literally 3 minutes away.
Well, I would imagine the same person is picking up 3 or 4 orders.
Probably.
And you're at the bottom of the barrel. Yep. You're the last one.
Rubbing their balls on it.
Yep. That's the problem I have with the delivery services, right?
I just don't know.
So every day when I go home, I'm thinking, okay, what are we doing for supper, right? My wife is a wonderful cook. She cooks a lot. It's great, but she's been in her PhD program, so she's been super busy, right? So we've eaten a lot of pizza and things like that. Pizza's great. I will never turn down. By the way, unpaid advertisement for Marco's Pizza. I will never turn down a Marco's Meat Lover thin crust pizza.
I think Marco's might have the best chain pizza.
Greatest thing in town. Yeah. But I often think, like, if she's not there or if I'm just, bacheloring it or whatever tonight, I think, oh, I'm just going to stop and pick up something. And then I'll pass a place, and then I'll pass another place. And then it'll get in my head, and I'm just like, you know what? There's something to eat at home. I don't want the hassle.
Yeah.
And so I get home, and then I'll open up my phone, and I'll look at DoorDash for a minute. And then I'll look at Favor
for something that wasn't on my way
for
home.
a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I look at the prices. Because I'm a little stingy, right?
Yeah, no, I get that.
And so
I need to be more. I am stingy, but I need to be more stingy.
I generally know what things cost at fast food places. I'm a little bit of a savant in that way.
Yeah.
But
Congrats.
when it's a big achievement in my family. First one to do it.
Wow.
When I look at the prices on there, it's always at least $2 more. For the burger, then the delivery fee, then I'm supposed to tip.
And then a tip, yep.
So my cheapness gets the best of me, and I just don't order anything.
And I love when they're like, you're going to checkout, and it's like, here's the price. You want to tip now, right? And it's like, no, it hasn't gotten to me yet. I don't like this one. I would not tip the person, but I might tip $2 instead of $4 when it's when it's, I mean, kind of justifiably wrong, but also basically cold by the time it gets to me. And you can't do that anymore. You gotta tip before.
I'm still very surprised that all of these services still exist. You would think that we'd be down to like 2.
Is Uber Eats still around?
Yeah. Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub.
Oh, jeez. Grubhub was, I think, the one that was really bad in terms of fees.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Grubhub was trying to give away their services for a while. And if I'm not mistaken, Grubhub may be part of Amazon. I don't know. Somebody. They're part of a
Favor,
bigger
which is basically only
H-E-B.
Texas, is like good enough, like deal-wise. You know what I mean? Like
Favor's
it's not
H-E-B,
crazy.
so I mean, you know that you're getting decent service, because their grocery stores are good. No, I just don't order much, man, on those kind of things. I'm really afraid of people's balls. I'm also afraid of all the costs and the fees. Yeah.
I'm afraid of people's balls, if we're being honest.
Yeah. Well, hey, we got something in common. That's great. That's how we bond.
That's great.
Over the fear of others' balls.
That's great. That's great. You're usually just telling me what to watch.
Yes. So right now I'm watching Time Bandits. Very good. What are you going to do in the future then? Do you order it?
What's my 5-year plan?
Do you order it plain and dry with cheese? Or do you just continue to say plain and dry?
I mean, coming back to where it's my fault, I could have just trusted the system.
Sure.
I took all the toppings off, right?
Yeah.
But I also know that that's not going straight to Whataburger. That is someone going to order it. So, yeah, plain and dry with just cheese. Or what I do sometimes is I gamble.
Okay.
And this is not my proudest thing. I hope my parents aren't watching.
Sure.
But I'll take the edible, and then I'll go immediately to pick up the food.
Yeah.
It takes an hour.
You figure
you
got 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, or at best 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's what I do a lot. Now, there is running the risk if I'm coming a 10-minute drive. Maybe I get in an accident, or maybe I get pulled over.
Yeah.
And then you're running a risk. But
sure.
Or maybe they just take a long time.
You just drive so slow when it. I get over safety.
Yeah.
Over safe.
Over.
Yeah. I get. There's a lot of this
about me.
There's a lot of this. Just.
Yeah.
Very much concentrating on what's going on.
And as I've done that, by the way, it's never hit while I was still driving.
Really?
Never has. Maybe I've done that in the past when I shouldn't have. But like in this strategy, it has never hit when I've done it. So that's what I'll probably do, especially with this Whataburger.
3 minutes.
You know where I live. It's literally right there.
Yeah.
I can't walk to it, but well, on a nicer day I could.
You could walk to the IHOP. That's where you need to start walking.
Yeah,
up
but
to
I
the
could walk
IHOP.
by the Topgolf and get there. But
hey,
I don't really want to do.
Can I mention
Hooters
one other?
shut down.
Can I mention one other thing?
Yeah.
What shut down?
Hooters.
Oh yeah.
It's too bad.
That's we live in an age where
it's all free online. So
sure, that's right. You mean chicken wings?
Yes.
So the other thing I want to mention about these services, okay?
Yeah.
Are the cloud kitchens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I almost ordered from one last time.
You know what I'm talking about, right? So like the Mr. Beast burger.
Yeah.
Or
I saw a good-looking burger. I don't remember the name of it, and it was like this is they called it like a theoretical store or something.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
this is
I
a real
always,
place.
I always look up the address and look to see where it's at. Your IHOP right there by where you live,
Oh no.
they are a big burger place.
Really?
They
That might have been the place last time.
I think it's NASCAR Burgers, I think is what it's called, which I don't get.
Is that just like a business that's dying, like a chain, and we'll open up our kitchen?
I think they're just looking for extra sources of revenue,
Yeah,
you know? And so
Like we've
they
got an extra oven.
my favorite is Chuck E. Cheese, which runs Pasquale's Pizza.
They do.
That is my absolute
and
favorite.
they try to make it like they're not leaning into the Chuck E. Cheese thing.
No.
They're like, this is a
They're leaning
local
into
Italian
a
place.
cartoon Italian chef. Yeah, that's what they're
You're
doing.
literally getting it from
Yeah.
Chuck E. That's fantastic.
We can't have the robot up anymore because people don't like it. But yeah, he makes great pizza.
Oh man, have you
It's
ever
just such
ordered
a
that?
weird
We
model.
should order that sometime to the
What,
station.
Pasquale's?
Yeah,
I've
I've been to a Chuck E. Cheese since I was a kid. But
Yeah.
like, what if the pizza?
and there's a reason for that.
What if the pizza's good?
It's
though?
not. It's. I mean, it's fine.
That's gonna be a bit on the show.
What? Just ordering from Cloud Kitchens?
Well, no, just
Or Pasquale's.
Pasquale's, one off. Yeah, maybe we do that though. The Cloud Kitchens.
I wish you had
and
just
find
like
one that's actually good.
I wish you had just like a little animated Pasquale that would walk by or something at the bottom. You know, oh,
Scurries on by as
it's
I'm
a great
talking about them.
show. Yeah. it is.
Like it's a promotion on Fox. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Exactly.
that'd be
Exactly.
great.
You need one of those bugs down in the corner.
Can I rattle off some things for you before
Yeah.
we end the show?
Please do.
I saw this thread. I should have just made this its complete own segment, but
Yeah.
what do I care?
Yeah.
What do I care?
As somebody whose studio you record in, those are golden words to my ears.
I love when
What
an
do I
IT
care?
guy refers to my laptop as your machine.
Ah.
No, but I did want to bring up this thread of the
Your
best
machine.
newspaper headline articles
Okay.
in The Simpsons.
Oh, in The Simpsons. Nice.
Some of these are visual gags, so I won't I'll try.
Remind me to tell you Mason's idea when we get to the end of this, by the way.
Because I thought of it because one of the fourth one on here is Old Man Yells at Cloud
Sure.
with Abe Simpson.
Yeah.
One of them is one of those spinning headline things, you
Yeah.
know, the spinning
Yeah.
newspaper, and it says spinning newspaper injures printer.
Yeah. That's good.
Great.
Yeah, I like that.
Great. Squirrel resembling Abraham Lincoln found. Alcohol prohibited in Springfield, and then one of the subheads is bums threaten to leave town.
If it were only that easy.
And then also in that episode, city goes dry today. One of the other stories, bums extend deadline.
Well, they are bums.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh. A lot of them were more visual gags than I thought.
So big. You're a big
New face and trash race. It's just Homer.
You're a big Simpsons fan, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
at least the first 30 years or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So Mason, one of our editors that works here,
Uh-huh.
he had an idea. And I'm telling you right now, anybody steals this, I'm coming after you. But he wanted to do a Simpsons podcast, right?
Okay.
Talk about episodes. But
There's too many to talk about all of them.
right, as you've seen, he carries dice and stuff with him all the time,
Uh-huh.
right? It's just a tactile thing. It keeps him thinking and,
Yeah.
keeps him motivated.
I get that.
He wants to roll a 30-sided die, and then from that, he will cover that episode. That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
You call it Rolling Through Springfield.
I like that.
It's good, right?
I like that.
Yeah.
Because, as you've realized,
Yeah.
you do the Blah podcast,
I do.
which is every episode of King of the Hill, and you guys have
Yeah.
done that for years.
We're on season 6, epepisode like 12 or 13 or something.
And since you guys, literally since you guys have started that, really the last 2 years, there's been a ton of those popping up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it really used to be Office Ladies.
Yeah.
Sopranos.
Yeah.
Blah.
Yeah.
Blah was early in that game. I
Well, it was
remember
fairly early.
Yeah.
There were a couple of
so now you kind of need to mix it up a
yeah,
little bit.
yeah, there were a couple of forefathers, but very few of them lasted to the end of the
Yeah.
show.
And you're like halfway there.
I'm
not
gonna-
quite.
I'll get there.
13, right? 13?
Yeah, 13 seasons. Yeah,
Well, you'll have 15 by then.
right.
because
That's what I'm saying. We
they'll
got 2
have
more
the
seasons
reboot,
coming.
so-
That's it. Yeah.
Oh,
Very
man.
excited. Very excited.
I would get in on
Mike Judge, if you're watching this, I'd love to talk to you.
Mike Judge be on my podcast.
I've hit him up several times.
We can find him.
Maybe he got a new phone.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Pete probably knows somebody who
Ooh,
can get in contact.
it's not a
with
bad
Mike
idea.
Judge.
Yeah, actually, not a bad idea.
Pete knows people everywhere.
Yeah,
Weirdly.
he does.
I am in there for Homer at the Bat, the softball episode.
Yeah,
where,
the Isotopes.
Yep. No, Springfield Power Plant.
Oh,
Remember the company softball team, and Mr. Burns brings in the Ringers?
I thought it was the Isotopes.
No, that's the minor league baseball team.
Oh, what's their team called?
The Isotopes.
No, the one you said.
Softball team is just the power plant.
Oh,
Springfield
okay,
Power Plant.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And
Oh
what are some
yeah,
of
he brings
the
in the
PTA
good players,
disbands. That's one of my favorite ones.
The which one?
The one where the PTA disbands.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. It's one of my favorite bits in the history of The Simpsons. Bart is trying to keep the PTSA to disband so they don't stay in school.
Right.
And so he pretends that they're talking shit about each other.
Right.
And he's at a PTA rally, and at the back, the back of the rally, Bart's like, "Oh, did you hear what Skinner said?" And they're like, "What?" And it's like a game of telephone all the way up to up to the top. And someone comes on the mic and they're like, "I can't believe this. Skinner says that we are going to crack any day now. Purple Monkey dishwasher." It's so good.
It's very good.
It's such good writing. It was probably Conan O'Brien. And
I would not doubt that. Yeah.
And then
those were the glory days, honestly.
I mean, I'm telling you, dude. I watch. It's such a snobby thing to say, but I watch up to season 10, and then I start over again.
Yeah.
Maybe I just
I
can't do it.
I used to love Bob's Burgers too, and I can't tell you the last time I watched it. It's just I think when something is not scarce, you tend to just take it for granted.
Yeah.
And so I take that show for granted. And then I went on my YouTube TV the other day and I realized, oh, shit, I think it stopped recording it. So now I got to find them somewhere,
My girlfriend got me into The Simpsons again. I watched it as a kid, and then it got too dry for me, and I didn't watch it for years, and then went back and discovered them because she's seen every episode 4 times.
Yeah.
An insane amount. And so I got her to watch Family Guy, which I loved at the beginning.
Sure.
Loved. And she watches The Simpsons. She watches Bob's Burgers. And that's all she watches. And then she started watching Family Guy and skipped ahead to season 14. And she's like, "I love these." And I was like, "This is shit.
Yeah.
This is pure shit, actually.
Yeah.
You skipped all the good stuff."
Yeah.
So anyway, and she won't watch South Park.
Yeah, I have never been a huge South Park fan. I don't know what it is. It's not that I'm offended. I think the humor's funny. All that stuff. I don't know. It just never clicked with me. Family Guy, I really, really enjoyed the first few seasons. They were great. About the time that Brian and Stewie went back to fight Nazis, that's about where I stopped.
Yeah, it's probably season 12 or something.
Yeah, something like that, right? I just I think I've seen this joke about 3 times.
So.
Yeah. So
anyway, any parting thoughts, Mike?
I just
You've gone through the robust delivery services and adult animation.
Keep your powder dry. That's all I got to say.
That's the funny thing about Chick-fil-A is they always say, "My pleasure," and I was like, "Yeah, you're welcome."
Is this thing on?
Yeah, that just happened.
He'll be here all week, folks.
That's the Cam Show, powered by Rogue.
There you go.
Powered. It's on Rogue Media Sports Network. I'll be here all week, a.k.a. I'll be here tomorrow.
Try the salmon.
We'll see you then.
We are Rogue Media Sports.